So for getting the table view loaded in this scenario, we already have the ID available. So let's use that ID to make an API call using the use case and then fetching it back and then populate it back to the table view. So at least for the table view, I already have everything ready. Let's say whatever codable I need, like to deserialize the data which is coming from the server. That's all ready with me. I know what kind of data is going to come back, and I have created the data structure similar to that. So that is also ready with me. And then I also have the services side ready, which we have already covered in the previous tutorials, where I have this service where I'm calling to get the groceries, passing the category ID. So this is what I'll be using to get the data back, and then I have a service which is actually using these HTTP services, which is a grocery service, which will actually call and request for this this resource, which is the groceries along with the category which we are passing. That will be returned, and once we parse that using codable, decode it, send it back as a single category with those grocery items along with the images, path of the image. That's what we'll get back in this one. So that's what I'll be calling in my use case, which already I have here, like in the interactor section. I have now a groceries interactor. Earlier it used to be home interactor. I've renamed it to groceries interactor because it makes sense that it carries the same name for which the use case is built, not the home screen. It can be used anywhere. So it makes sense that it is groceries interactor. Similarly, I have cart interactor and image interactor. So groceries interactor, I have a function which calls my fetch groceries using the category ID and then returns that data. That is also available in my, so even my use case is ready right now. All that I need to do is to use this in this implementation, where whenever I'm navigating to, let's say, the first screen, which is to the listing screen, I'm in the view controller, let's say, and I need that data. I need to call the presentation or the presenter to fetch that data. So I already have the view did load. So that's what gets called when I navigate to the next screen. So whenever there is a call to, let's say, view read load on my view controller, I just call the view read load of the presenter. So this is where I'll be calling my use case. So I don't have any use case as of now right now. So let me just start building that. So this is my presenter. So in this case, as a use case, what I need is, first thing, fetch groceries is something which I need. It will accept category ID, type int, and then there will be a completion. So that's the same structure which is there in the interactor. That's the function closure will be the same, and it should return me the groceries. So I think single category result, or is just category. Okay, I guess it's category. Let me just check the interactor. Groceries is returning a groceries closure. Let me just create that groceries closure. So this is what it is. Category ID, completion, groceries closure. That's what I have here. Also, I will require to show the whole image for, let's say, as a cover image at the top. If you see it here, it's just loading a cover image. It has not yet downloaded that image, and there is also a description here which will actually show up once we have that description. So this is a cover image, this is a description, and the table view load here. So I need to okay, what's that? groceries, category ID this, and I need to fetch the image where I need to pass the file name and again a completion. Okay. And let me just fix these things. And passing the, I guess it's a file name in image interactor, it's image name and this completion. Let's go back to the presenter. Image name, completion, white, and we also need to fetch the thumbnail as a different function. It's the same thing but different function. I guess this is pretty much okay now. So we have three functions as use cases where fetch groceries, fetch image and fetch thumbnail, three functions which we'll use in this screen. So these things, three things are required. Let's also create an init. Init should accept a category ID, type int, and then it can also accept the view, which is of type grocery list view. Okay, it should not accept a view, it's accept a router, which is of type grocery list, groceries list routing, and the use case, which is this use case. So let's create variables for this. And router of this type, use case, three things. Let's set that category ID, that's also done in the use case. Three things. Now it's asking, it might ask, no, we have not yet used it. So is this enough? What about the view? We also need a reference to the, in the presenter we need a reference to the view, which is like a weak reference. We are view, which is of type groceries list view. Keep that. Let's just keep that, we'll instantiate it from outside. So these three things are ready now, and on view did load, all that we need to do is to, on view did load, we need to call the fetch groceries here. So before that, let's set the dependencies here. We have the view, and let's get the presenter in place. Presenter is equal to groceries list presenter, which is accepting now the ID, which we already know using this category dot ID. Then it's asking for a router. Let's create that router equal to groceries list router, which will accept a view controller, which is nothing but this view which is creating this. And then let's pass these here, router use case is what we need now. Let's create the use cases. Let image interactor is one thing we need. Accepting API of groceries API, it's the same, groceries service dot shared, and also we need the grocery service. Is that what the name is? Grocery service. No, we need the grocery interactor. Call it groceries interactor. Passing service and the database. That's done now. We need to pass the use cases. Let's create those use cases. Let use case is equal to, we know the structure, so let's go back there and capture those three. Fetch groceries should be from the groceries interactor. Get groceries, it's accepting category ID and the completion, so that's done. Then we have the fetch image, which is coming from the image interactor. Instance image interactor, and finally thumbnail. Fetch thumbnail. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Now that is also fine, so let's just pass this. That's good. Now let's set the presenter. Okay, and one more thing, I think we need the reference of the, that's also, let's do that here. Presenter.view, go to this view. So view and presenter know each other now. View, weak reference, and the presenter, strong reference. That's fine now. And that's the structure. Pretty good. All that we need to do is call this here on load. Let's do that. So we need to call the use case to fetch the groceries. So it will accept missing ID, which is the category ID, and second thing is the closure, which anyway we don't need to call, so we can capture it here. Also, let's just move this to a background thread. And if we need to dispatch back, we will do it here. So let's move this inside. It's happening in the background thread. Completion happens. We get the categories. What do we get back? We get a category, I guess. Yeah, we are getting a category back. So that's what we get back. So once we get that back, we need to, first thing, as soon as we get this back, we can do a couple of things. One is, I have, if I go back to the screen, I have a table view, and then there is a stack view which has the cover description, and then this image view, which is this. So these two I can actually set values to the cover, description, label, because I already have the title now, so I can use that. So two things I can do. So let's just create in the view couple of functions. One is to update the cover title, choose the title string, and the next one is to update groceries list, which we don't have yet. I guess we need to create that. We are having everything ready, but we also have the data source, which is actually expecting an array. So as soon as something is set to this, it'll start reloading the table view. So that's what we need here. We need to get the array of groceries list, which is this array. That's one thing. And finally, we need to update the cover picture, cover image. We'll receive a type of image data, maybe data, which will convert into image. So three functions we will implement now. Update cover title, update groceries, and then finally update cover image. Three things implemented. So as soon as this happens, label text gets set, and as soon as this happens, the data source is reset, groceries list. And once this is happening, we need to get the image out of it. Data, whatever data we get, image data, else just return do nothing, because we already have the placeholder image. And on the image view, set the image. So three things we already have covered. Whatever needs to happen on the view controller is done now. So let's go to the view model, the presenter, and the presenter is, this is giving me the category. So do I have the category title here? So this is giving me a category. This is my category title. I'll just do that as uppercase and then use that to send it back to the view. So I have the self.view dot update cover title. I can just pass this. That will take care of it. It's still in the background. I need to move dispatcher to the main thread. Okay, let's use this. That's giving me this. And along with this, I also have the category dot groceries information, groceries result, which is having an array of groceries. So maybe that also I can pass. So I can do a compact map and then use that to create the category item view model using this. So groceries result, grocery compact map converts it into the view model. So I already have the init for that. Cannot convert grocery to expected argument type category. Okay, I'm using grocery item view model. So this is done. Let me groceries list. and use that to call the view update groceries. So a couple of things are already taken care. This array is of, let's just pass an empty one if nothing is there. Done. So we have this update groceries and the title. As soon as this is received, we can do that. So let's just see what goes on now, because we have fetches anyway calling. We have the interactor ready, and once the interactor value comes back, we just update the cover picture and this. So it should load at least these things right now. Let's do that and see. Except the image within each of the cell, and the, I think even the cover cell image will also not load right now because we are not yet called it. So two things we will handle there. So let's go here. See, no images, but data is loading right now. It says fruits here, it's not category. Okay, I need to pass the details there. Description should be. Taking a while. Network issue. It's just right now. This is something we need to handle. If there is a network fluctuation, then reachability is something we can implement. Still no data. That's weird. Let's just go back to home. Okay, now it's working. So once I go to the fruit section, okay, it loads now. Just that the image is left to be done. Rest of the things, navigation, setting these values for each of these are all taken care. So let's do the rest remaining thing. First thing is, as soon as the category is received, I can send a request to get the image uploaded, updated. So update image has to get, not here, but code will be same, like fetch on fetch thumbnail. What should happen? So go back, listing here, it's getting me the groceries category. I can just make a call right here. Category image dot name is with me, so I can just use the use case dot fetch image. I need the whole image, passing the category name, passing the image name, and it should respond with the image data. Let's guard that. Do nothing, and we have the data right now. So we can now call the self.view dot update cover image using this data. So that's happening separately, not related to this one. We are given a call here, it should get me the image. Let's run that and see. Yeah, that works. So this is pretty simple. Now the final thing that we need to do is to go back to the view controller, and this is where not this is self-await index is where we are configuring each and everything. So once the configuration is complete, once the configuration, it's a similar thing like we did in the last one, but then we can actually do this even here without going to the inside the cell. Like, let's create a function to update. So this is my grocery item cell, configure, and maybe I can just create a function, update grocery icon. So this should receive data maybe, or even UI image, and then use that to set we have the product placeholder being set here. Instead it will set the real image once that is received. So update grocery icon, we have created a function. So once this happens, let's say as soon as we receive a view model, we can make a call to the presenter, the background thread, dispatcher sync, background, and then call the presenter update or fetch. Where do I have the function? Okay, I need to create a function for that. Go to the presenter, this home presentation, let me go here, on thumbnail update, pass the image name, this is where it's going to happen. Let's implement that. So we can call this background thread work can happen here. We don't need to call it from the view controller. So let's just do that here. Self dot use case dot fetch thumbnail, passing the image name, which in turn will return the data. Got that. Else return, and then you'll just need to, we need a closure, image completion. Let's use this image closure. On completion, we just need to return this data. So now that will trigger something here, because we need to get the on thumbnail update, pass the image name. We already know the image through the view model. So image dot, it's of type string, that's an image. So this is triggering a call to the thumbnail, which in turn will return the data value, which we need to use for the cell. So we can just call the cell update grocery icon and just create the icon here itself. We don't need this background working here. So this is dispatched to the main thread through the background thread and it returns here. So it's still in the background. Maybe we just need it to be used in the main thread, which we can call here. So I get the image here. Let image is equal to UI image. Lots of errors. Let's check what's going on. Okay, we don't have the closure there. That's the reason. Let's go to the presentation. It created it here, but we did not use it there. Closure. Now it should be fine. So we have the image. Which we receive as data, else just return. Use that image. Okay, maybe we are missing. Brackets too many. So some things are optional. Let's check that. Before that, let's keep all. Data, whatever we are passing, we can guard it even from the presenter. We already have guarded it. Fetch thumbnail, it returns this, but I guess this closure is a nullable type, so better we pass it as is. We don't need to guard it and do it here. That's done. So we have not declared the cell here, so that's a problem. After configure, we can do this. We not use this. Okay. That's done. So this is happening in the background. It comes and updates the cell in the main thread. So I guess this should be fine. Update image. Let's see whether it works. This is loading. Image loads. Okay, perfect. Now when we scroll, it keeps loading those images. That's fine. Vegetables. Even that gets loaded. Yeah. Some kind of a caching we can apply to this image so that we don't need to load it all the time, which I'm not covering in this one, maybe in the next one, because this is mainly for showing you how routing works, and maybe this screen how we are actually loading the images dynamically, like when the cell is actually getting configured. At that point we are loading this. So couple of things we covered, router mainly, and this one. So hope this was interesting, where we have actually covered each and every aspect of the VIPER architecture as such. But then it's at the basic level. We still have things like how do you navigate back from one, how do you do value passing from one view controller to the other one. Let's say you are dismissing some view and you need to send it back. It's pretty simple, but then the approach has to be not like MVC. So that's the only difference here. We are used to protocols or closures. The same thing applies even here, but then the way it has to be done in a modular without dependency being coupled is the challenge. So that's what we need to cover in the upcoming episodes. I think we are very close to maybe within 3-4 episodes we'll be actually done with this tutorial, this whole series, maybe, I'm assuming, maybe. So I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to show in this one. We have covered routing here, basic routing and image loading, and that's it. Code base will be available in Patreon. You need to go and subscribe and get access to that. Otherwise you can watch these tutorials, and it's pretty easy to follow, I guess. If you have any comments, you can always come back and then subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button if you need to get latest updates, anything which is happening on this channel. If you're interested, do that. So until the next episode, it's bye from me.